So, you just picked up your first key truck Honda Acty, and you want to do a tune-up. This is going to be a quick step-by-step guide, no BS, straight to the rice and beans, about what you need to do to take care of the basic maintenance stuff on this HA4 1991 Honda Acty. Alright, starting up first, we need tools. We have our handy-dandy headlight, which I use for everything. They're the best lights out on the market. Get a headlight if you don't have one. 1030 oil. It could be anything. It could be synthetic. It can be conventional. It does not really matter. That's your personal preference. These cars were built when only conventional kind of existed. I try to run synthetic in most of my things. Today we're going to have some conventional stuff. Your Bosch oil filter 3312. If you cannot get Bosch by you, guess what? You can cross-reference this oil filter and you'll have 1,000 different options. I might include a link. The spark plug, really try your best to get this NGK V-Power coppers. They're the best. The BKR 6E-11s. You need 3 of them because it's a 3-cylinder motor. Then we have a 17mm, a 14mm, a 3/8 ratchet, a flathead, a spark plug, which is a, I believe 5/8, yeah, 5/8 spark plug wrench with a long extension, your oil filter pliers, and once again, the headlight. Oh, something to drain your oil into. Once you have all that, you have everything you need to start. Alright guys, so there is a way to jack this up in order to do this work if you're like a heavy set fella, but myself, I found it easier to just leave the truck on the ground to do everything. Everything's pretty accessible. I'm going to get on this creeper here and show you where we need to go to. First thing we're going to do is we're going to drain that oil. We're going to get up under here. This is the rear of the truck. This is your rear suspension. Right in front of your rear suspension, boom. You have your oil drain bolt. That's a 17mm. Put it right on. And we're going to crack this thing open and let it drain out. Try to make sure that the car is on a flat surface so you get just the right amount of oil out. Cool. Make sure you run your truck before you dump the oil. You're not going to run it inside the garage like we are now, but I did run it outside before getting started on all this. You want to run the truck so you get a little bit of heat in the oil so the oil drains out nice and easy. Alright guys, so I'm on the left-hand side of the truck here, right by this box that has all your fluids and your battery. And I'm looking under here to find my oil filter. As you can see, I got a brand new oil filter in there. But as the oil is draining, it's a good idea while you're waiting to just get that oil filter cracked off. Just remember lefty-loosey. There is a guard on here, but it doesn't really get in the way of the wrench. All you need to do is give it a slight turn with the wrench, and then you can turn the rest by hand. When you reapply the new oil filter after everything is drained, I like to clean up the rim, clean it up nice and good. You're going to put a little bit of dab of oil on your fingertips right around the rim with the new oil filter and spin that bad boy right back on like I just did. And your oil should be drained by now. I'm going to go cap that oil, clean everything up, and then we're pretty much done with the oil change stuff on the bottom half of the car. We're going to go and add some oil. Now that we're all buttoned up on the bottom, this is your oil fill here. It's on the back left-hand side of the car. Don't mind that crack on my truck. Right in there. Now I have one of these bendy jobbies that I'm just going to turn right into there. And I'm going to bendy jobby into there. And then I actually use a bungee cord to kind of just secure the strap here. And then we'll fill that up with oil. You're going to take 2.9 quarts of oil for the engine oil. That's 2.9 quarts in here. And then we're going to do some for the tranny. Alright guys, so at this point you've drained the oil, you've replaced that bolt, or the whatever, the bolt, oil drain bolt. And you've put a brand new oil filter in there. So you have your oil drained out, you replace that bolt, you have a new oil filter secured nice and tight, and you fill the oil up with 2.9 quarts, which should be the right amount. You want to run the truck a little bit, get it up to temps, and then turn it off, put it on a level surface. A garage is a great place to put it because garages are typically level. And then you're going to check that dipstick, which is right over here. That dipstick that you're looking for, once again, we're on the left-hand side of the vehicle. You're going to go right over the tire. And here's your dipstick. It spins out. It is threaded, so you got to spin it. See if I can get a better view for you guys. And then, boom. And there's your oil level. You're going to clean this off. And then you're going to insert it again and see where your oil level is at. But as you can see, it's right in the middle of the stick. Alright, so you went to AutoZone or Advanced Auto Parts or O'Reilly's, wherever you are in the country, and you bought yourself a 5-gallon jug of oil, so we have some oil left over. Guess what? We could also use it in the transmission, so why not service that transmission one time? You're going to go back under the truck, and we're going to use the rest that we have of this 10W30, as long as it's API. Let's check here. It should say it somewhere here. API rated, so that means that we can use it in our tranny. And we're going to show you how to dump that fluid and refill it back up. All right, guys, so we're back under the truck. We're going to sneak under here. Once again, this is the rear axle. And now you have this right here, which is your drain bolt on the bottom. Right here by the CV joint. You have your drain bolt here, which takes a regular 3/8 square. And then on top, you have your fill. So you have your drain and your fill. The fill is a 17 millimeter. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to crack that drain, get my pan under there, and I'm going to crack that drain with my 3/8 ratchet. Stand by. That's my GTO right there. Give me 1 second. Alright, so I'm just going to use the regular 3/8 ratchet, just a square in there, and it's going to clip right in, as you can see. Sometimes they get a little bit of gunk in them, so they're kind of hard to get it in, but let's see if we can get this thing in. A little wiggle and it's in there, right? So now I'm just gonna crack that open. So I'm gonna push it forward, not pull it towards me. Crack that open, boom. And we'll start draining that into this oil pan. As it's draining, I'm gonna take this off. Oh, not stuck. I'm gonna take this off and I'm gonna put the 17 on, and we're gonna go to the fill bolt and crack that open, and then we're going to try to find a way to get some oil in there. Alright guys, so we got a little bit of a conundrum here. So we've drained the oil from the transmission, and now we got to find a way to get the oil back in. The transmission doesn't take much. It takes, I think, a little bit over a quart, if I'm not mistaken. But it doesn't matter. You just fill it until the fill hole is completely up to the rim, and once it starts leaking out, you know you have enough. But the first step is we got to put oil in there. So there's a couple ways to do this. I have this jobby here that I don't know if it's going to be long enough. And then I also have my trusty Harbor Freight siphon pump, which breaks about every year, but for the money, it's great. I get them every year, and they usually last about a year, and I use them for just about everything. So you're going to stick one end in the bottle and the other end into the, there should be an in, I should say in on one of these. So one into the bottle and one into your fill hole, and you're going to access it through here. So now we're on the right-hand side of the car, the Japanese driver's side. And I'm going to see if I can get this camera to focus for you. And, oh, still no good. Let's go around here. All right, there is your fill hole. So we're going to make sure that bolt's out, obviously. And we're going to stick the tube right in there. And our pathway is going to be right through here. And then the other end is going to go right into the oil bottle. We're going to fill it until we see stuff start coming out. Make sure your drain pan is under it. And once stuff comes coming out into the drain pan, we know we have enough in there. And we can close that up. Alright, so now we're going to tackle our spark plugs here. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get my 14 millimeter on my 3/8, and I'm just going to break these loose. Oh, look, they're all kind of loose already. Okay, once they're loose, I'm just going to take these jobbies out. Okay, they're all out. Make sure they're all in the same place. And I have a little slot here. Just take a screwdriver and just lift this up and out of the way. Oops. Kind of need 2 hands for this. All right. All right, now that that's up and out of the way, we have access to our motor. So just for those of you guys that don't know about too much about cars, we go over a couple of quick stuff here. You got your alternator here. This is your carburetor. This is your carburetor cover. And these right here are your spark plug wires. And under there's your spark plug. There's your cap and rotor if you're going to do the cap and rotor as part of the tune-up as well. We're not going to do that. We're just going to do our plugs and our wires. I'm sorry, we're just going to do our plugs. So some of these are kind of weird to get out because they kind of hit the chassis, but if you turn them, they come right out. Now we're going to take our spark plug, 5/8 spark plug socket with our long extension. We're going to stick it right in there. Make sure that the wire is out of the way. Boom. And once it's in there, we're going to stick a ratchet on it. And we're going to break these spark plugs loose. We're going to break these spark plugs loose. Here we go. Once they break loose, you can just take the ratchet out and just spin this jobby. And out come your spark plugs. When the spark plug comes out, you always want to check it to make sure that they're firing right. This spark plug was actually just done not too long ago, so it looks great. No black, no white. It looks like a healthy plug, right? So we're going to grab our new spark plugs, which are over here. And we're going to start putting them in. We do one spark plug at a time, right? Now putting the spark plug back in, we're going to take the spark plug, the new plug obviously. I'm not going to change these because these are great. I just did them not too long ago. So we're going to put the new plug back in, or in this case the old plug. I'm going to spin it by hand. Now I always tell people try to do this on a cold motor because aluminum is not the same when it's hot. Plus you just don't want to strip your stuff. People think that you got to kill these spark plugs. You really don't. It's a very simple. I always tell people put your hand on the very top and you're going to tighten. Oh, let's flip that. You're going to tighten it until it's hand tight, just about there. Then you're going to take it back and you're going to do a quarter turn. So here, quarter turn. I couldn't even get a quarter turn out of it. Beautiful. Now it's good to go. I'm going to stick this back in. Make sure it clicks. You guys heard that click. Now we're going to do the rest of them. The rest of them you follow the same suit. And then that's your spark plugs. And then the last thing we're going to do is your air filter. Alright, ladies and germs, last but not least, we're going to do our air filter here, which annoyingly you can't really get in the States, to the best of my knowledge. If I'm wrong, please correct me and show me where to get them. I've been ordering them from Japan. There's a couple of clips here. This is your air box. 1, 2, 3 clips. We're just going to flip them over. Take your time with these clips because they get old and sometimes they break. You shouldn't have to kill it. Once you take all 3 clips out, this comes off. And just a word of advice, if your truck is hot, that means your exhaust is hot and your exhaust is right here, and that's not going to be a good time. You're going to undo this wing nut right here, and you're going to pull your filter right out. It's a very simple air filter. Once you pull that wing nut off, you're going to replace the filter. There's a rod in there. You're going to stick it right through. Make sure you put your washer and put your new wing nut back on. That one has a 2S25, I don't know. But I can't find this anywhere else but the Japanese parts place. But definitely a good idea to do. As you can see, this one's real dirty, so we're going to swap this one out as well. Got our new air filter in there, and now we're just closing the box back up. So this is a little weird. So it looks like you can go 2 different ways. It looks you can go this way, but it's not the right way to do it. You're going to flip it over, and it's going to feel like you're going to break it, but unfortunately, it's got to be pretty tight. And the last one here. Oh, missed it. All right, all set, good to go. Give her a slap on the ass there. And then that should be it. So to summarize, we've done the oil change. We did the air filter. We did the transmission fluid. And we did the spark plugs. So we did real good there. She should be feeling real nice now. Should be nice and healthy. Don't forget to follow Key Club Minitrucks on Instagram. And check us out for more trucks we have coming into the country. We have another 4 coming in right now. A couple of them are claimed, but feel free to check it out and see if you want one of these. They're great little vehicles. They get great on gas, and they're very reliable. This one, unfortunately, just got sold, which is why we're going through the whole thing and making sure everything's on the up and up. It's got a very clean interior here. But I'll see you guys next time. Best of luck with your trucks, and stay safe.